Welcome to the Inspiring You Show. If we haven't met, I'm Henry. My friends, let's do a mini energy update specifically about this solar plexus activation and clearing that is going on. So, y'all, I know we talked about some physical symptoms in the April 2025 energy forecast, but I have been feeling them so strongly that I wanted to speak directly to them here because chances are you may also be feeling this too. So, one of the biggest things that I've been noticing, and maybe you have as well, my friends, is how intense the solar plexus clearing and activation has been. So for me, it started at the end of March and into April. So it first started at the end of March with maybe around, it was like the last week of March for 3 days in a row. I had this like sour stomach feel, and it didn't matter what I ate or if I fasted. And I was doing energy work, I was supporting myself with practices. I just had this sour stomach. And so then that was finally released, and then coming into April, I just noticed also then another change in my digestion. And with coming into April, I noticed moving into another deep wave of fatigue as well as recalibration is happening. And it's really centered around the stomach area, the solar plexus. There's also something happening in the crown chakra and the heart chakra, which I'll go into in another episode, but I wanted to focus on the solar plexus here. So it's been showing up for me, like I mentioned, a sour stomach, and then I noticed, change in digestion, and then the last couple of days, it's been a tightness in the stomach that it just is creating this tiredness and causing low motivation. And it kind of feels like I'm being sucker punched in the stomach with this deep exhaustion. It's not sharp pain, but it's like the wind got knocked out of my core. I felt it so strongly this weekend while I was walking my dog. I had this like huge wave of deep fatigue in that stomach area, in the solar plexus. And it was interesting because the day before, I think we walked like 3 miles, and on this day, I had barely walked like a quarter mile. It was like I needed to summon all my energy just to stand and stay upright, and it just felt like I'd gotten sort of like sucker punched in the stomach, but not in that sharp, painful way, but more like a heavy, depleted, tired feeling in my stomach kinda way. And while I was walking my dog, I had to actually stop and just acknowledge, like, how tired my stomach area felt. I did some Reiki and I took some breaths, and I just literally then felt like I had to use all my will just to stay upright. And it was a fatigue centered in the solar plexus, not the full body tiredness, but like a deep energy drain in the core. And as I was doing Reiki, contemplating, it just clicked. I realized, oh, this is part of the solar plexus clearing and activation process that's happening this month and that we have been talking about in the April forecast. We've been talking about how you may notice digestive sensitivities or a sense of inner tension as your personal relationship with willpower, identity, and agency gets activated. The solar plexus also governs our sense of self and direction. It may be recalibrated to support a more authentic, soul aligned expression of power. The solar plexus is the energetic core of willpower, identity, confidence, and personal power. And it's also where we hold a lot of karmic patterns, ancestral imprints, and control based energy. And a lot of these aspects might be being called to clear because they're no longer beneficial. And then also, then when the clearing happens, it allows then the light activation to be supported as well. So then higher frequencies of light and truth start to stream in, especially after that eclipse season we went through. And this part of the body that has to clear out old density first before it can receive activation. So it has to clear before it can receive. You can't integrate more light if there's no room for it. So what we're feeling is both a release and an acclimation, which is interesting because years ago we would be in a release process and then we would go into acclimation, but now we're in dual process of releasing and acclimating and receiving the light activation at the same time. We're in a multi process now, which is amazing because it just shows you in terms of, how much we've evolved. But it has been interesting. The release of stored fear, control, self doubt, or trauma that's been stuck in the gut is being called to be cleared. And then the acclimation to new energetic frequency, one that requires us to carry personal power in a new way. So this shift can feel like exhaustion, heaviness, or even waves of emotional release tied to self-worth or feeling safe in your own power, or there just might be other elements clearing in terms of your maternal and paternal lineages, or maybe some aspects from the collective or even from past lives. So, my friends, if you're feeling that gut level tiredness, that kind of sucker punched energetic fatigue or digestive changes, or it could also be your adrenal glands as well, this is likely what's happening. Your solar plexus is doing a big multidimensional work right now. And remember, April is all about embodiment and integration. After all the karmic release of March, now comes the next part where we are reconstructing self. We're allowing then, in terms of the embodiment of soul. And you can't receive new light codes, especially ones tied to willpower and personal direction, without making space for them. So the solar plexus is the seat of personal power, will, action, identity, and how we move through the world. And when the body starts downloading higher light frequencies, light codes, and we're definitely in a wave of that now, it initiates a clearing of what's no longer aligned. That's why the stomach can feel unsettled, tight, even energetically wiped out. Can feel that sourness. There could be emotional digestion in progress in terms of asking things to be cleared. And then with it, then in terms of the fatigue, your system is acclimating to carry more light. And so oftentimes the body needs to be in more rest to allow the acclimation to carry more light. So then there'll be that fatigue as well. It's a combination of many things. And this is exactly in step with the April energy forecast themes that we've been talking about. Specifically a couple of them, theme number 1 is reconstructing self, which begins in the stomach and the power center. Energy theme number 3 is momentum rising. But momentum can't rise if the center, the stomach, the power center is still clearing. Theme number The next theme, that was theme 3. Theme 5 is revealing the unseen, which includes unconscious beliefs held in the gut. So those are just some of the themes. Theme 1, theme 3, and theme 5. If you want to, you can go listen to the full episodes on the Inspiring You Show on podcast or YouTube. So, my friends, if your stomach has been talking to you lately, listen. Listen to your stomach. If your will feels offline, rest. This isn't failure, it's recalibration. Also, let's just try something right now. Close your eyes and you can put your hand on your stomach, on your solar plexus, and one on your heart. And then take a nice deep breath. Going to invite Reiki energy healing. And if you wish to receive Reiki, you can say, yes, I'd like to see Reiki for my highest good. And then I allow this light to move through me. I allow this light to move through me. I release what no longer supports me. I release what no longer supports me. I trust the power that's returning. I trust the power that's returning. And I allow this light to move through me. I allow this light to move through me. for my highest good with ease and grace and gratitude. Take a nice deep breath. All right. So let your body lead. It knows what it's doing. Your body's infinitely intelligent. The solar plexus is your inner sun and it's rising again, just like you are, my friends, just like you are. And if you're in the Inspiring You Patreon, the Meditate with Me, we will be doing solar plexus reset energy healing meditations on our Tuesday and Thursday this week. All right, my friends, much love. Before we go, let's just break the links. So say this after me if it resonates with you. I asked to break the links with this mindful chat. I asked to break the links with this Reiki session, leaving only harmony and balance at either ends. I asked to clear any residual energies being held in my body as a result of these links. I ask the light to fill the void, solves, rejuvenates, refreshes, revitalizes for the highest good with ease and grace and gratitude. And so it is. So it is, my friends. Much love. Until soon, and stay inspired.